is prophecy over you.
Okay, so next question. Where do you think that you're going? You know, life always offers you options, A, B, C, D. How do you decide that option A is the best for me, not B, not C? When you get two different job offers, how do you choose one? How do you evaluate your opportunities in line with your goal? How do you know sometimes it's better to choose what seems to be the less paying job because strategically it is what is going to get me nearer my long-term goal? Where do you think that you're going? If you don't know where you're going, you can't know the right route to get there. And there are many routes to each destination, but having a sense of where you're going helps you to know why, even though A, B, C, D can get me to the same place, why is A the better route for me, and B the better route for C, and C the better route for A? You have to invest time to evaluate. Don't take random decisions. Intentionality is key for a woman that wants to achieve the highest level of success in her life. You have to be deliberate in your actions. There will be some accidental moments of good for you, but if you leave everything to accidents, you'll end up with real accidents. So take charge of your decision. Know why. Be strategic about how the dots connect. How do the dots connect? Mama Nkosi said to you, after building a company that involved others, and then they decided to play a game that happens all the time to women, she thought, okay, I'm not doing this anymore. I do this by building my own company. I'm building one that will beat the one that I joined them to build. And Elle had no fury like a woman scorned. And with that fire, she went to build one of the best companies in the world in her sector and has used it to empower other women and other people in mining. What part of what she didn't say is some of those infrastructure assets they built for their own company, she made some of them community assets that other smaller mining companies can use in their community so that they can upscale and upgrade the value and the process for all of the companies in their area. Because sometimes you have to know that it's not about the winner takes all. When you build your community, you build yourself. But you see, it has to be about if you have defined the journey. Do you want a better community, or do you just want to be the richest person in your community? Do you want a company that works for all, or do you want to be the God in the company? Because people have different agendas. Where are you going? Where do you think you're going? How do you adjust the journey along the way if you don't know where the destination is? Very important. Okay, now, this is the gift of all the questions. I always say this in my sessions. Okay, I know that we have people that are above 70 here, but it's okay because it's just a number here. It means you can change the 70 to 80 to 90 to 100. It means when you finish, the real message here is when you're done, what do you want your legacy to be? How do you want your story to end? This is the book of your life. What do you want to read in it? Now, why this is important is, for the men in this room that haven't lived to that point, it means you can do a gaps analysis between where you are now and how you want to finish. And when you define what the gap is, you can map a strategic journey of how to finish where you really want, not where you accidentally finish. I'm a graduate of chemistry. Science is how I think. When you look at angles, you know, just a tiny move off the center point doesn't necessarily mean you're just going to end up just beside the center point. The divergence could take you so far off your mark. Which is why it's important that you have a sense of destination. Define it. You can keep refining it, but define something about where you want to finish. And when you're faced with the options of the doors to walk through, you know, I will not take this one, even though it would make me a billionaire, but I have the risk of leaving my children a battered name. It will not be my choice. I can get a good promotion, but sleeping with this stupid man will destroy everything, because as a woman, sacrificing your body to get something is not the legacy you want. And as a single woman, this powerful man wants to sleep with you to get something, and you're doing it, he's giving you peanuts to take diamonds from you. That's the truth. Because think about it, as I say to the younger women, one day you're falling in love with this guy, you've been dating, and he says, okay, but you know, my father is dead, but I'd like you to meet the only father left in my life. The uncle who has been acting as a father for us. And he's told his uncle, I'm bringing my fiancée, blah, 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 blah. And you're all dressed up, ready to go and meet this uncle. And as you walk into that living room, you look at the face of the man there. Oh my God. He was the guy you hung out with some time ago for the opportunity. He will smile at you. He will welcome you even. But when you're gone, he will tell the boy, you haven't found a wife. He doesn't need to explain, because he doesn't want his wife to know what he does outside. But a little short-term gain for a long-term life losses. Which is why we spent so much time last year on value-based leadership. If you want to win for the long term as a woman, define your values. Pay attention to them. Pay the price for them. Because sometimes you will have to pay a price to defend them. And I know what it is to pay prices. It's in your hands to define how you finish. It's your responsibility. You can choose your end game. It can move a little to the left or a little to the right, but give yourself a target. And as you do that, you will see that that's how you know who you need in this room. That's how you know the kind of association you want. That's how you know the kind of tribe you will be a part of. The tribe of everyday Ashwebi and party. It's not for the girl that wants to rule the world. The one that wants to enjoy the world, yes, she's in the right place. So you will make the choices because you have defined the route. But many times we leave it to chance. We don't. We accidentally find ourselves in situations and we just float. And sometimes we're then wondering, but this is not really where I want to be. Your life is in your hands. See, as I have this remote control, the one thing you must never hand over to anybody is the remote control of your life. It must always remain in your hands. Not to your husband, not to your children. Okay. If you trust some people in your life, you can have a personal committee of people you are accountable to, that together you will look at your journey and make a presentation of how you want to get there, and have the grace to receive the criticism that they would give of the options. If you've chosen the right panel, they're on your side. They're not against you. And so when you make that presentation and you consider it together, you will fine-tune the options of the information in order to get to a reasonable plan that will take you there. Now, you must do the gaps analysis. That's really important. You must identify all the things that are standing between where you are right now and where you want to be in your end game. And when you do that, do the plan. And when you put the plan together, it's okay to have a plan. There are many business plans in the world. As you know, in our country, Nigeria, we have the solution for every problem we have in a white paper or in a document that has been presented. We're smart people. The thing that we need to do differently is to actually execute them in a holistic manner to make them work for our people. But you know, we're all quick to judge Nigeria by that, but many of us actually live our lives like that as well. What is your actual plan? And are you working to execute that plan? Are you fighting for it to ensure that it happens? Because that will be the difference. Now what? Now over to you. Now you go and sit down, make sure that you actually answer those questions and not just gloss over them. Now make sure that you actually sit down and develop a plan around the things that you identify. And more than anything else, now make sure that you start the process of executing. That's what Kilali tribe did. That's what the diamond cohort in Ghana did. Because once you decide we want to do this, they formed that tribe in the hall in Dubai before they left. And they pursued it aggressively with their meetings and everything, to the point that they were able to hold that conference to change the lives of other women. I read a lot of commentaries about that conference from other women. Saw all the feedbacks and realized that by their intentionality and action, real lives were impacted. And that was just the first seed. Because I know they have sense. I was going to say they have sense, but I know they have sense. They know that if they did 120, it means that there are 120,000 or 1.2 million that fall into that category in their region they need to deal with. And they've got to take it up and keep moving until the work is done. Thank you very much.